And we're live as we are every Wednesday afternoon. Happy Wednesday. It's also time for our weekly episode of Mr. Cashflow Live. These weekly broadcasts are designed to help you increase your business or your practice's cash flow and introduce you to some great people and some subject matter experts that can be of help to you along the way. The recorded version of this podcast can be found at my YouTube channel. If you'd like to be notified when we go live, just subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notification bell, and you'll receive a notification every time we go live, which for right now is once every week on Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. Feel free to ask questions as we go along. We'll try to answer them live. If you're watching the recorded version, welcome to you as well. We'll get those answers back to you either through social media or by email. Today, we are talking healthcare financing. This has been a hot button issue for a lot of my clients. For years, they've been asking me if there's an alternative to the healthcare financing companies that they currently use who might not reject as many patients as their current provider, and who don't charge the practice an arm and a leg and a discount. And I found one. It's taken me a while, but I found one, and I'm happy to recommend them to you. It's a company called FinMkt. My guest today was supposed to be Luan Cox, founder and CEO of FinMkt, but she had an unexpected emergency. And so I am more than happy to welcome Nate Barber, her CFO, and the CFO of FinMkt as her stand-in. We're here to talk about how a multi-lender platform can help medical and dental practices boost patient approval rates. So Nate, welcome to Mr. Cashflow Live. This was kind of a quick appointment, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon, David. And I regret that Luan couldn't join, but perhaps for a subsequent show, I know she'd be terrific guest to have on your show.
I look forward to that day. So let's get to know you a little bit better, Nate. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from.
Sure. So originally, I'm from a city called Mesa, Arizona, in the Phoenix metropolitan area. And so I've spent a little time on both sides of the coast, but currently reside in New Canaan, Connecticut, not far from New York City, where our headquarters is located.
A little bit different weather than in Mesa, Arizona, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's interesting because hot in Arizona doesn't happen until, you look at the temperature and it's like 105, 110 degrees. But in Connecticut with the humidity, you tip that hot point right about 70, 75. But it's beautiful area and we love the Northeast.
I wouldn't worry so much about the hot as the cold being up in Connecticut. But hey, that's why I left Northeast Ohio and came to the Atlanta area. So to each their own, I guess. Let me ask you a question just so we kind of get a feel for who you are. Who is your hero?
So, I have many heroes. I think, really today in sort of today's environment with the changes that we've seen over the last 12 to 18 months, I have to say, honestly, many of the providers of healthcare, sort of the first line responders, are filling a role that is very heroic. And I admire all of what they do every day. I mean, these are the folks that didn't get to, work from home and they had to be on the job, sort of caring for patients and those of us who need medical attention. So I've got a tremendous amount of respect for those folks. So I would say, that's probably, the embodiment of heroism in my opinion, someone who's willing to do that.
I think they're heroes to a lot of us and should be heroes to all of us. And it's one of the reasons why I consider myself so fortunate to be working with them every day, all over the country. So let's define some terms. What exactly is a multi-lender financing program? How does it differ from a company like, well, the elephant in the room, CareCredit?
Sure, absolutely. Happy to explain that. So really what a multi-lender platform is it's effectively a technology platform that we deliver to providers that allows them not only to access financing offers from prime lenders such as CareCredit, but also to offer financing to both the near prime and the non-prime customers, because I think we all know that no practice or no service provider has uniformly a prime borrower or customer base, right? There's always the question of those who can't be accommodated or fit within sort of the prime underwriting parameters. So what our platform does is it combines multiple lenders to really serve borrowers of all types of credit, from prime all the way down to sub or non-prime, or maybe those that don't even have really a meaningful credit history or a credit presence as well.
So not only rich people get sick or have a toothache or whatever, and so this way we can provide service for all of them. That's fantastic. So if you're working with multiple lenders, I'm a doctor. I know my question's going to come up. Well, do I have to have an agreement with each one of those platforms?
Right. Now, that's another great question. And then really the answer to that is no. And part of what we've really, I think, sought to accomplish with our multi-lender platform is to make the user experience very easy for the provider. So I think you hit on one of the key points there, and that's really the legal agreement, or the documentation, the contract, in essence, between the provider and the lender. And the answer is we intermediate that process. And so our providers, by and large, sign simply one agreement with FinMkt, and then we have all of the agreements on the back end with each of the lenders. So it's sort of, the way to think about FinMkt is sort of a hub and spoke on one side, where we interact and interface with all of the lenders from a contractual standpoint, so that the providers don't need to go out and strike different deals with five or six lenders, which is, we know from experience, definitely a lot of work.
So you're kind of an aggregator then for them, or you run interference for them. I've gone into some doctor's offices, and there are a whole set of brochures sitting on their counter for different financing companies. And I think, wow, that's got to be a lot to manage. You take care of all of that for them and do it all in one.
Correct. So, and part of sort of the simplicity of what we offer is one standard application, whereby a patient can apply one time and have access to multiple lenders. So they don't need 4 or 5 brochures or different applications. They simply do it one time, and then we have technology whereby we provide the borrower's information via API to the lenders where they would qualify for consideration. So really an easy way and a good, I think, analogy would be the waterfall that you may hear occasionally in the industry. So what we typically do is, when we receive that information from the borrower, and they can apply a number of different ways, but we make it very, very simple in that we provide a platform to the provider where they can actually send via a link or even a text message the application to the borrower's cell phone. And so they can receive it immediately, open the application, begin to apply, and then we take the data and information, and then via API, or kind of a tech interchange with the lenders, provide that data. All of our lenders can decision in real time and render back an offer within a few seconds, typically.
Really? So it doesn't take longer to do it this way than it would be dealing with just one lender? That was something I was thinking about. Gee, if you gotta go to all these different lenders with the information, this is going to take a while.
Right. Now, it's a good, fair point. And you'd be surprised at the speed of data transfer and decisioning. So really, technology is advanced to the point where a lender can receive in real time information, including really the contents of the application, which comprises roughly 14 questions. So they take that data and they have risk models and algorithms where they can actually approve in real time. And then we sometimes, depending on the configuration with the lender, can do that on their behalf. Part of our platform and value proposition to our lenders is we provide the technology layer that allows traditional lenders, such as credit unions and banks with a much lower cost of capital, to be able to participate in the real-time funding. And so we provide that layer as well. But whichever way we go, it really results in the real-time offer presentation to the borrower. And it takes, again, a few seconds to get feedback, and also to be able to view the offers.
That's fantastic. So they could handle it while they're right there in the office.
Typically, that's exactly how it works. So if they're standing in the office, they apply. A few seconds later, they're approved. And the nice thing about our platform also, and this is in contrast, I think, to perhaps some of the other lenders, existing lenders in the space, we bring offers back based on a soft credit pull, which basically translates into no impact on the consumer's credit. So other companies in the space will qualify, pre-qualify, but they do a hard pull. So you can imagine that would be problematic on a multi-lender platform if we had successive hard pulls. The risk there is that you damage someone's credit score. So we don't do that. We simply use a soft pull, which has no impact on the credit score at all.
That's great, because I'm sure folks get a little bit worried. Okay, all these different companies are looking at it. I mean, the patient may not even know that, but all these different companies are looking at it. It's going to ruin my credit. People are always worried about that. And so that answers that question. They don't have to worry about that. It's not going to impact their credit at all to just apply. Fantastic. If you
Correct.
have any questions for Nathan, please feel free to just type them into the question box, and we will try and answer them while we're live. Again, if you're watching the recorded version, just send us the question, however you're viewing it, and we will make sure that the answer gets to you. If it's something I can answer, I will answer. If it's not, I will send it along to Nathan, and he can answer the really, really tough stuff. So go ahead and type your question in if you have one. We'd be happy to field them while we're still here live on Mr. Cashflow Live. So they don't have to apply with each lender. They're just applying with, does it look to them as if they're just applying with FinMkt?
Correct. So really the UX, we have several variations, and we have a lot of clients that are kind of smaller, kind of 1, 2, groups of maybe 1 or 2 clinics or offices that we use we have a solution that's the FinMkt solution. So the customer sees the FinMkt brand. As far as they know, they're applying with FinMkt. Of course, we have the right legal disclosures to let them know that they're giving consent for their data to be sent to lenders and to do a soft credit pull, which won't harm their credit. And so they, from a UX perspective, from the customer's viewpoint, they're simply filling out one application, and then ultimately in the back end, the decisioning part of the technology platform that we have, again, we're sending that and aggregating offers from different lenders and then presenting on the offers page, typically on the consumer's device. So as far as they're concerned, it's a seamless experience. And the nice thing about that, if there's a borrower that applies, let's say, to a prime lender such as Care Credit or another prime lender, and they're declined for whatever reason, they really don't even see the decline. It really waterfalls to the next lender that might service a borrower that's a near prime borrower, for instance, and so on and so forth down the cascade of the waterfall. So that makes it really alleviates those issues, the awkwardness that results from a decline. Let's say if they're with a prime lender or a Care Credit, which, as you know, approves maybe 40 or 50%, I think, max typically on average. They don't have to have that experience of informing the borrower, and sorry, you were declined, but can you, here's another pamphlet if you'd like to try again, fill out another.
For the practice side, if I'm a doc, how does the cost of doing this compare to, say, a Care Credit? I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but that's the one that everybody knows. How does the cost of the practice compare with, say, a Care Credit?
Sure. So very favorably, I mean, the way we term it is the merchant discount, or in this case, the provider discount, right? Which is a fee for allowing the provider to participate in the financing program. So we have programs that really range, and it depends on which plan the provider chooses, but we have rates that are substantially below those of prime lenders such as Care Credit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Care Credit's it's a great company. They've been very successful. They originate billions of dollars of loans. But I think really what appeals to our clients is really we empower the provider. We say, okay, here is a platform. Here are the lenders that are available to participate. We let you choose the platform and the programs. And so if they were looking for a program that reduced or minimized that discount, then they have the latitude to be able to choose that program.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you have different types of financing products?
Correct. Right. So we have, the types of products are really, it's a varied array of products. And by that, I mean, we have sort of the traditional revolver that's offered in the format of a credit card. But we also have installment loans. We have loans that have basically no interest periods, or same as cash, for 6, 12, 18 months. And so one thing that we've done is we really put a lot of time and effort into focusing on the product. What product can we deliver that would be appealing both to providers as well as customers? And so as a result, we have sort of a variety of different products to offer. Fantastic.
So your market is not just healthcare.
Correct. That's correct. So we actually have a number of verticals. I think healthcare and dental is definitely one of our 2 markets that we believe have the most potential, and so accordingly we're focused very, very much so on the healthcare market. But we also serve other markets such as sort of specialty retail and even home improvement, where we can leverage our technology to bring that same user experience.
That's fantastic. Great thing. Are there specific, when we get back to the healthcare idea, are there specific types of healthcare providers that this works best for, or have you seen that, or specialties that maybe seem to work better?
Sure. Well, the beauty of the platform is it's really adaptable. It's modular in terms of its architecture, and so we can adapt really to any use case, imaginable. But today we serve really both the dental kind of traditional dentistry practices as well as implants as well. And then on the healthcare side, we do elective healthcare, we do med spa, we do things like chiropractic and stem cell fertility. So we really kind of range the gamut in terms of sub verticals of the healthcare industry.
I would think things like orthodontics, fertility, some of those where they're going to have higher bills. Fertility clinics are, it's crazy expensive to go through that, where they would need the financing in more cases than, say, a pediatrician or a general practitioner. But it works for everybody, right? So that's great.
Absolutely right. And those higher ticket services such as implants or fertility, orthodontics, those tend to be, at least in terms of the total volume we do, just simply because of the ticket, the service price, it's sort of skewed to those in sub verticals, but we really can offer it whenever there's a financing need.
And there are needs everywhere, especially post COVID. People are really, really concerned about where every dollar goes, because they just don't know. Hopefully we're coming out of it now, but people are still kind of wary about spending much money and, that kind of thing. And this would make it available to them if they need to have medical work done or dental work done. I appreciate it. One more call. If you have any questions for Nathan, please type those into the box, and we'll give it just a minute to see if there are any questions for him. If not, Nate, thank you so much for jumping in and filling in today and joining me here on the broadcast. It has been a joy. I think there's some really important information in our discussion that could really benefit some medical and dental practices. And I thank you for it. I look forward to working with you guys at FinMkt and helping a lot of my clients as well. So thanks so much for joining us. Any last words you want to leave?
No, I really just appreciate the opportunity, David, to appear and to tell the FinMkt story. We definitely, we've heard from, we've got a lot of market feedback from even prospective and current clients that really the platform that empowers the providers by allowing them to choose the products and the lenders, and that can increase the conversion or the offer rate to their customers. That's tremendously appealing. So we're excited to tell the story, and always it's a pleasure being able to be a part of your podcast here this afternoon.
Well, it was great to meet you this way, and hopefully Luan will be able to join me at another future broadcast. Thanks so very much.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, David.
And if you'd like to consider using FinMkt's services, you can contact me at this email address, Mr. David Weiner at cashflowstrategies.us, or give me a call at the phone number that's listed at the end of this broadcast. If you'd like to get for your practice a no-cost, no-obligation cash flow checkup, that's what I do to evaluate ways your practice can improve your cash flow. Please feel free to call me or email me at any time. There is never a charge for that. And join me every week right here for another episode of Mr. Cashflow Live. I believe your bottom line will thank you for it. Until next week, as always, I'm David Weiner, Mr. Cashflow from Cashflow Strategies. After all, it's your money. Keep more of it.